In this video, I'm playing with a software package called Easy Diffusion. It's based on the Stable Diffusion image generator, which is open source. And the advantage of that is that you can install it on your own machine and you're not sending your data to the web. So what I have here is it running. This is a web-based client. It talks to a backend which is also running on my own machine. I'm using an NVIDIA video card so it can use the CUDA cores to accelerate the processing. So what you're seeing here is a slideshow. It's not the actual generation. Each image takes about a minute. But what I've done on the image is each image I've just done a screen capture of the actual user interface and then cropped it down to the bit I'm interested in. So this here is the top piece here is walk. It says walk, and this is the prompt. So the software is given a prompt. It has a random seed and some other processes information which tells it how big the image is to be. I also provide an image here for guidance. So you can see that this image up here and this image here are sort of look very vaguely similar, and that's the purpose of the guide image, to guide what you generate. So this is actually the last one in the sequence. So what I will do here is I will show you how, without changing the prompt and without changing the seed, just using the guide image, like it generates a wide range of pictures. So let's just start the slideshow. So then the first one, I basically started with a black image with a white dot. This image is generated using the draw function within the package. So you can just click draw, do a little bit of scribbling or whatever you want to do, and then you say generate image, and about a minute later it will generate an image. So here all I've been doing is just moving this white dot around in the black area, and what it's doing is it's finding different parts of the database of trained images, using that to select similar images, and then basically provides a new version of that image by randomly moving pieces around in a way that leaves a picture fairly similar to the original. So as you can see here, I'm just playing out, just trying different things out, because what happens is at some point the pattern you're putting in sometimes may switch to a completely different sort of image set in the training data. Now I have no access to the training data, so basically I'm sort of poking around and trying to hack the training data to get images that I think are interesting. So I'm the artist, even though I'm not generating the image. So again, the seed and the prompt haven't changed. If you change the prompt or the seed, you'll get probably a completely different image based even with the same guide pattern. So here I've started playing with colors, and as you can see, it's starting to pick other colors out, and then I'm taking the parts of the image away just to see how it goes. And it's switched, for instance, it switched into something that looked like three people walking away. And at some point, you'll notice it just basically switches to a different image there we go. So now this is obviously some other image which matches that sort of green splotch across the middle. And it's not always very easy to, since I don't know what the images are in the background, I can't really predict what's going to happen. Like that one, that looks really interesting. And this is obviously a similar one. All I try to do is move the dots to somewhere else, and it's now playing with the different dots. And here I've just changed the color, and it, as you can see, it's doing different things. So the image is very interesting, obviously, how based on small changes, and it's actually making quite big changes to the image it's generating, because it's finding a completely different starting image. So here's an interesting sequence where basically it's sort of found the green the green swirl, as it were, and so it's using that as a fairly strong selector from the database. So you can look at the guide image and see obviously the complex guide image do give complex actual images. Again, there's some of them sometimes they're completely unimaginable as to what comes out. Some of them are you can try to sort of guess and then try to aim at something that's in what your vision is. So here I just started with basically a white image. Actually, these are running backwards. I actually had an image and then basically made the black slowly get more and more of the original. So actually these images are, yes, they're basically in backward sequence, because I actually added the black to the guide image rather than taking it away. So I was trying to do a walk. So originally I was going to do a little cartoon character trying to walk, and obviously I've completely failed in that mode because none of these really animate. And the reason for that is I was doing I've generated a sort of ambient soundtrack, which based on the word on some stuff, and walk was the main key. So I thought I'd try to generate images for that particular soundtrack. And then this is sort of what I spent a couple of hours doing, because each image again takes a minute. So what you can do is you can do some drawing, you can submit that to the queue, and you can do that, keep drawing and submitting to the queue until you've got a queue of 20 or 30 images, and you can just either go off and wait for them, they'll render on their own in the background, and you can go and do something else, and when they're done you can go and then decide to save them. And what I've done here is I was naming each now these screenshots are done manually, so I wanted to show the guide image, the actual standard, just dump it, download it, doesn't save the guide image or the other data. I like how it tries to put text in sometimes, if there was text in the original thing, and obviously usually it's always a completely scrambled version, but it's sort of, if you know what the prompt is, you can often see the idea. So they've obviously used posters and other things which have text in them, and in their training data. See, welcome. Hopefully he doesn't say something bad in Polish or something, some other language. Now the thing is, this database does have XXX style images in it, and so depending on the prompts, and you can occasionally get something that's not really suitable for children, especially if you prompt. Now the actual system allows you to add there is a setting which says, do you want to enable turn off not safe for work. I've not tried that and seen how efficient it is, but I'm assuming internally that some of the images are labeled as being adult content. So again here, this is literally the same random number, it's the same prompt, but it's now picking images based on what I'm just washing out parts of a random image. And as you hear, red's going to come in from the side. I just painted it in bit by bit, and you can see how the different progression. So this is obviously one that's closer to the original image, and this is obviously looks like so. So they've got some images of people walking in and out of a mall. Looks like. Okay, this white sequence is actually in a different order. That's okay. So even just plain colours can actually do image select, especially when it's dark. It generates some quite nice dark, moody stuff. Now here's the last one, pretty much last sequence. There we go.